Hello, dear.
Good morning, Father.
Did you dream again?
No, the herbal tea you suggested did its job.
Perfect. You're going to need all your energy today.
Did you find anything interesting?
Just as you thought, the danger hanging over the royal family most certainly concerns the young Henry of Navarre. The predictions I wrote down about this year didn't evoke a curse, but they weren't particularly positive either. And given the events that are occurring, they've taken on a whole new meaning.
What do you mean?
Amongst people, dissension, brutal enmity, war, death of great princes.
But Henry isn't the prince.
Yes, he is. He's the Prince of Navarre. But that's not the problem. Predictions are written to be interpreted and not considered simple truths. Imagine the danger they could represent.
What do I have to do?
I don't know, daughter. This time, I'm afraid I have no answer to offer you. According to my observations, you alone might possess one.
I don't understand.
Shortly before Catherine de Medici arrived, I felt weak. If it hadn't been for that, I would never have sent you off on such an adventure. But today, I feel that it was supposed to happen that way. No one is prisoner of a destiny written in the stars, but some people bear in themselves extraordinary stories and destinies. However this story concludes, you will have an essential role to play in it before the end of the day. I worked on your chart again last night, and a recurring figure asserted itself as if it had kept vigil on your destiny since your birth, and especially today. It's a pentagram. You'll find out how pregnant with meaning this symbol is. And also, consider these words. The key is in the last one. They came to me in the middle of the night like something obvious.
I found a sheet hidden in the missal belonging to the dead scribe. It looks like a recipe, but I don't know what potion it could be.
Let me see. This is impossible. Madeleine, the man isn't dead.
What?
This is for a potion allowing someone to feign death for several hours. It's remarkably effective, but very complicated to prepare.
I'd better be careful. If he's still alive, the scribe might be anywhere. A weapon in good condition would be reassuring. The metal isn't hot enough to be forged. Perfect. I just have to cool the metal and it'll be finished. This would seem to be a note from Philibert. I wonder what in the librarian's research could interest the scribe. He must have changed the lock. No, it can't be. This story is too morbid for me. All the people I approach die, one after another. I can't pull the sheet out. Her fingers are too stiff. They forced me to be their accomplice. Nostradamus, his son, and his assistant set the whole thing up. I can't bear having betrayed the crown, and I prefer eternal damnation rather than support the eyes of Catherine upon me. What a crock of lies! But it's a clever ploy. Accusing us was the best thing the killer could come up with to succeed in his sinister mission. I have to stop him at all costs.
Mademoiselle Constance.
I'd better not stay here.
Good Lord! Call out the guard! Those astrologers took us for dupes. Constance is dead and left a letter explaining she was their accomplice. You hurry to Nostradamus' house to arrest him. And you take care of his former assistant. You can just lock him up in the guard room. If you need me, I'm going to notify Queen Catherine. We'll deal with the body later.
They're not wasting any time. And even if the letter accuses Nostradamus and Jean-Aimé, I'm afraid neither of my two identities will protect me. The only way to help my father is to elucidate this case and to convince Catherine of his innocence. And to do so, I'm still missing a few elements.
Who are you? And what do you want of me? I have nothing to confess.
Shh, not so loud. I wouldn't be so sure if I were you.
Madeleine, is that you?
Yes, I think so.
But you can also call me César, if you feel like it.
What the...
Don't make that face. César was away, and Catherine would never have accepted that a young girl conduct the investigation. In any case, I sure fooled you.
You did indeed.
We have no time to lose. They arrested you after they found the body of Constance and a letter in which she said she committed suicide, overwhelmed with remorse after helping you and my father engineer this curse from top to bottom.
That's absurd. Why would we have done that?
Why, to destabilize the crown. Between the astrologer and the heretic, there's just a thin line that someone is trying to push you across very quickly. The killers are powerful people, Jaime. They're after the young Henry of Navarre, the one whose chart you were to do.
But I told you, I didn't know.
That doesn't matter. What counts is who asked you to do it. I have to know now. The guards must already have arrested Nostradamus, and I'm the only one who can get you out of this mess. So talk.
If it's the one who ordered the chart who's behind all this, then we won't get out of it.
Don't be so sure. But for God's sake, tell me who it is.
The Cardinal of Lorraine. The Duc de Guise.
I'm not surprised. If you had had the time to establish young Henry's chart, you'd understand.
If the motive is in the chart, your reasoning doesn't hold water, since I never gave it to him.
You're not the only person who can do a chart. Did you know the scribe well?
Well, no. We chatted a bit when we walked. He was pious and cultivated, your classic monk scribe. Nothing unexpected.
You can use the present tense, and as for the unexpected, try this. He's not dead. In fact, he was surely the one who murdered Philibert, then the guard, and Constance.
But that's impossible. I helped carry him into the chapel.
He took a potion to simulate his death. Father says that those who know of preparations like that are very rare indeed. Do you think he had that sort of knowledge?
No. Besides your father, I've only known one man who knew as much about plants and their properties. Catherine's apothecary. But he's dead.
During your journey here, on the road, in the middle of the night. Is that right?
Good Lord.
I no longer have one murderer to deal with, but two.
Be careful, Madeleine.
Don't worry, and remain calm. It'd be a shame to get yourself skewered before I prove your innocence. I need to learn more about the symbolism of the pentagram.
Go look in my office. You should find an engraving of a pentagram there. It's a 5-pointed star, set in a circle. It can symbolize the magic of the heretics, just as it can knowledge, the 5 elements, or the association of the feminine and masculine principles.
Interesting.
But why that question?
According to my father, the chart of my sky curiously resembles a pentagram.
Androgyny is indeed a countenance you bear well. You really are a young woman full of surprises.
Father was right. The scribe is still alive. I'd better be careful. I might be one of his next victims.
What do you have to tell me, monk, that is so urgent?
I have come to tell you, my father is innocent of all of which he is accused.
Why am I only slightly surprised to see you enter my rooms disguised like this?
Perhaps you already suspected that César and I are one and the same, and that another disguise, when you come down to it, is hardly surprising. Or maybe you just didn't really believe in Nostradamus's guilt, and one way or another, you were awaiting my arrival.
I think you owe me an explanation.
I have not come to defend my own head. Neither my father, nor Chavigny, nor poor Constance betrayed you.
That's all you've found?
I know that no explanation will satisfy you completely, so the only way to convince you is to catch the real guilty party.
And how do you intend to do that?
I discovered a gallery under the chateau that must date from the time of the Celts. According to the notes I found in the rooms of the person I suspect, he knew of its existence and thinks there's a treasure hidden there. I intend to lure him down there. If my observations are correct, the shafts that illuminate the gallery also permit sound to carry. You should be able to hear us from the chapel.
I have, in fact, noticed odd noises.
You've nothing to lose by letting me try. If I'm mistaken, or don't manage to convince you, we both know that I have little chance of escaping.
You're very clever. What proves to me you won't try to run away?
My father is in the custody of your guards, and as odious as he may be, Chavigny is my friend. Anyhow, there's no way out that isn't in clear sight of your guards.
Very well. So will you tell me at last who your mysterious suspect is?
Someone so clever that today he seems above suspicion.
You make far too much of a mystery of it for me.
What's the best way to be suddenly cleared of any suspicion?
To have someone else accused in your place. To pass for a victim.
Exactly, Your Majesty. Pretend to be dead. If you send someone to check, you'll see the scribe's body is not in the chapel.
But how is that possible?
With an accomplice like your apothecary, many things become possible.
So he is alive also.
I don't know that, but he must have taught the scribe some of his secrets.
I can't say your explanation has convinced me, but I will let you try your luck.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
I'll leave you a little time, but don't take too long to put your plan into action. When you hear the bells toll, you'll know I'm not far. That will be the moment, if ever, to make him talk. One last question, nonetheless. How did you discover the existence of those underground galleries?
It's Philibert, the chateau librarian, who found them. Till now, I've just followed in his footsteps. According to his notes, he was about to discover a sanctuary when he died. That's where I have to take over.
Don't let me down, young lady. I am not always so indulgent. Oh, I was about to forget. You don't need all your disguises anymore. Give them to me. I prefer to know you're dressed as a young woman, rather than have a chameleon in the household.
Very well, Your Majesty.